Hello viewers, I am Tarang Kumar Boonwal, Assistant Professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurgaon. The following video is prepared as per the syllabus and course outline of Maharshi Dayanand University. However, they are mostly general topics which cover the working and theoretical aspects of civil engineering. For better understanding and conceptualizing clearly, please do not skip the video and watch till end. We will be discussing about related important questions, feasibility and applications. Let's start the video. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this session, we'll continue with the subject Design of Concrete Structure First of 4th semester in MDU. Today we will learn a few topics of steel beam theory and one more numerical on doubly reinforced beam. I hope you guys will pay attention and we'll start with the lecture now. So the question goes like this. A rectangular reinforced concrete beam simply supported at ends over an effective length of 5 meter carries UDL, uniformly distributed load of 20 kilonewton per meter, including its own weight, if sigma CBC is equal to 70 kg per centimeter square. Design the beam section for flexure only by working stress method. The size of beam is restricted to 40 centimeter wide and 40 centimeter overall deep. Assume effective cover as 4 centimeter. Stress in compression reinforcement, if needed, may be taken as 1.5 m times the stress in surrounding concrete. Sigma ST is 1900 kg per centimeter square and the value of M is 13 for tension. So this is step 1. First we will find small d, that is effective depth. So we will subtract overall depth and cover. So it comes out to be 36 centimeter, 40 minus 4. It is given, both these values are given in the question. M for compression is, as discussed in the question, is 1.5 m times the stress in surrounding concrete. So it comes out to be 1.5 multiplied by 13. So M value for compression comes out to be 19.5. L effective is given in question, effective length which is 5 meters, and weight intensity is given as 20 kilonewton per meter. For simply supported beam, M is given by WL square upon 8. So the value of W is 20, which is known. L effective depth is, it is also effective length, it is also known. So it comes out to be 62.5 kilonewton meter. Next, sigma CBC is also given as 70 kg per centimeter square, and which can be converted to IS standard units, which is 7 Newton per mm square. Similar way, sigma ST is given as 1900 kg per meter square, and which is converted to 190 Newton per mm square. Step 2, finding the values of design constants. So K formula we know from previous lectures. We know the procedure to find out the value of K. So this is the formula, 1 upon 1 plus sigma ST upon M sigma CBC. Putting all the values. So sigma ST is 190, M came out to be 13, and sigma CBC is 7. So the overall value of K is 0.3238. And in similar fashion, we'll find out the value of J, which is 1 minus 1 upon 3K. This we all also know. And it comes out to be 0.892. Next, we will find Q, which is moment of resistance coefficient, and its formula is this, we have also discussed in the previous lectures, is half sigma CBC multiplied by K multiplied by J. So putting all the values we have, so it comes out to be 1.011. Next is finding bending moment using moment of resistance coefficient. So its formula is given by QBD square. So Q value we have just found out, B value is given in the question, and effective depth we have just found out by subtracting the cover from overall depth. So these are the values, and it comes out to be 52.41 kilonewton meter. Now we have to take a note that moment came out to be 62.5 kilonewton meter, and our bending moment which our beam could resist came out to be 52.41 kilonewton meter, which means the requirement of beam is to resist a load a moment of 62.5 kilonewton meter, but our beam can only resist 52.4 kilonewton meter. So this means we have to design a doubly reinforced beam here, because the capacity of beam is not enough as per the externally applied loads and moments. So now we'll calculate area of steel, because now we know that we have to design a doubly reinforced beam. Area of steel is given by bending moment upon sigma st multiplied by J multiplied by D. So bending moment value we know, we have just found out here, which came out to be 52.4 kilonewton meter. So 52.4 kilonewton meter, and putting the values in standard forms, because these formulas are designed like this only. So it came out to be 52.41 into 10 raised to the power 6 by converting it to smaller units. Sigma st is given, J value we have just found out, and D value we have also found out. So AST1 came out to be 858.94 mm square. Now we'll find out the extra moment for which compressive reinforcement is required. We knew that the external applied moment is 62.5, and the moment which our beam can resist is 52.4. So we will find the moment which is in addition, which is additional, which the beam is unable to resist. We'll find the difference between both these moments. So subtracting both the moments, we get value as 10.09 kilonewton meter. Now this is the extra moment for which we have to provide reinforcements. So now using this moment, we'll find the value of AST2. So it is bending moment upon sigma st multiplied by J1 D1. So again, bending moment is this 10.09, and sigma st value is given, and here the catch is J value 320. Here what happens is we'll subtract cover from both the sides, because in our reinforcement our beam is going to be doubly reinforced now. So the cover will be from top and from bottom as well. So from overall 400 depth, we'll subtract 40 and 40 from both sides, and it comes out to be 320. So the value of AST finally arrives at 165.95 mm square. So the total area of steel under tension is AST1 plus AST2. So AST1 is this and AST2 is this, and which comes out to be 1024.89 mm square. Now we have to find the area of steel under compression. So it is found out using the formula MD minus XA upon 1.5 M minus 1 XA minus DC multiplied by AST2. because this is the secondary reinforcement which is responsible for both compression and tension. So putting all the values in the given equation, M, because we are talking about tension, so M is 13 here, D value is 360, value of XA which is given by K multiplied by D, so it come out to be 116.57, 1.5 M, again we have put all the values here, XA we just found out using KD, and DC depth of cover which was 40, and AST2 we have just found out which was 165.95. So from this equation the value of ASC comes out to be 370.79 mm square. And as we discussed in the previous lectures, in compression steel we provide comparatively thinner bars as compared to the tension bars. So here we will provide 10 mm dia bars, and because the area of steel under compression was this, so we will divide the total area of compression steel by area of one bar. So it gives out the approximate number of bars, which is 4.72. So which means almost we'll use 5 bars. So it will give the exact area, but it would be better if we use 5 here, 5 multiplied by pi by 4 into diameter square. So it comes out to be 370.5 mm square, and this way we are done with the question. Now guys, we'll move to the steel beam theory. So here on the screen you can see notes of steel beam theory. So the primary point for steel beam theory is that steel beam theory is used to find the moment of resistance of doubly reinforced beam. तो जितना मोमेंट एक डबली reinforced बीम रेजिस्ट कर पाती है, स्टील बीम थ्योरी वो डिसाइड करने के लिए, वो फाइंड आउट करने के लिए कैरी आउट की जाती है. Steel beam theory is used to find the approximate value of moment of resistance of a doubly reinforced beam, especially when the area of compression steel is equal to or more than the area of the tensile steel. तो अभी तक जैसा हमने सारे न्यूमेरिकल्स डिस्कस किए हैं, उसमें ऐसा होता था कि जो हमारा कंप्रेशन स्टील थी उसको हम यूजुअली क्वांटिटी में, अमाउंट में एंड इवन थिकनेस ऑफ बार्स में हम उसको कम रखते थे कंपेयर टू टेंशन बार्स. बट बहुत केसेस होते हैं जब हमारा मोमेंट, एक्सटर्नली अप्लाइड मोमेंट की वैल्यू हमारी रेजिस्टिंग मोमेंट को एक्सीड कर जाती है, ग्रेटली एक्सीड कर जाती है. इनफैक्ट उन केसेस में हमें स्टील बीम थ्योरी फॉलो करनी पड़ती है. क्यों? क्योंकि हमें जो कंप्रेशन स्टील है वो थोड़ा सा ज्यादा देना पड़ता है, और वो कंप्रेशन स्टील अगर टेंशन बार्स के, कंप्रेशन स्टील यानी कि जो टॉप में होती है, जो अपर हाफ में होती है अबव द न्यूट्रल एक्सिस, और टेंशन स्टील यानी कि जो बिलो द न्यूट्रल एक्सिस बॉटम हाफ में होती है, अगर ये दोनों वैल्यूज कंपेरेबल होती है और या तो बराबर हो या कंप्रेशन स्टील की वैल्यू ज्यादा हो टेंशन स्टील से, तो हम स्टील बीम थ्योरी का यूज करते हैं. सो स्टील बीम थ्योरी, moment of resistance of a doubly reinforced beam. The moment of resistance of a doubly reinforced beam consists of the following. First, moment of resistance of compression concrete and the corresponding tensile steel, that is AST1. That is moment of resistance of balance section, M1. तो पहली चीज जिससे मोमेंट ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस बनता है, मोमेंट ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस होता है जो, वो कंप्रेशन कंक्रीट का और उसके कॉरस्पॉन्डिंग जो टेंसाइल स्टील का जो मोमेंट ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस है उस बैलेंस सेक्शन में. नेक्स्ट, मोमेंट ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस M of the compression steel ASC
and the additional tensile steel AST2. तो मोमेंट ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस जो हमने ऊपर यानी कि अपर हाफ में स्टील दी है ASC, एरिया ऑफ स्टील अंडर कंप्रेशन, और उसके अलावा जो टेंसाइल स्टील AST2 जो कि एडिशनल स्टील है और जो कि टेंसाइल स्ट्रेस भी बेयर करेगी उसका. So next is considerations and assumptions in steel beam theory. The first and primarily and the most important assumption is that concrete is completely neglected. In steel beam theory, it is assumed that concrete will neither play the role of compression, neither it will bear tension. So concrete is neglected in this theory completely. This point is important and needs to be remembered. Next is the moment of resistance is taken equal to the amount of the couple of compressive and tensile steel. So जो moment of resistance हम इसमें लेंगे वो हम लेंगे जो कंप्रेसिव और टेंसाइल स्टील के बराबर दोनों का जो टोटल आएगा उसको हम यूज करेंगे मोमेंट ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस के लिए फाइंड आउट करने के लिए. याद रहे कंप्रेसिव स्टील और टेंसाइल स्टील को एक साथ. नेक्स्ट, द परमिसिबल स्ट्रेस इन कंप्रेसिव स्टील इज टेकन एज इक्वल टू द परमिसिबल स्ट्रेस इन टेंसाइल स्टील. तो जो कंप्रेसिव स्टील में परमिसिबल स्ट्रेसेस हैं एज पर WSM थ्योरी, परमिसिबल स्ट्रेस निकालने का आपको तरीका आता ही है जो आप उसको एक फैक्टर से डिवाइड करते हैं जो कि यूजुअली 1.8 और 2 के अराउंड होता है. तो permissible stress in compressive steel is taken as equal to the permissible stress in tensile steel. तो टेंसाइल स्टील और कंप्रेसिव स्टील में जो भी परमिसिबल स्ट्रेसेस हैं they are supposed to be taken as equal. So as per the steel beam theory, the transformed area and the equivalent section is given in the table below. I'm sorry, figure below. Yes. So this is transformed section. This small d gives effective depth. This is the depth from top fiber to the center of the area of to the bars which are in tension zone. So these are bars under tension. So from top fiber of the concrete to the center of the tension bars. This is d dash from top fiber to the center of compression bars, and which is also known as the cover. And this value is d minus d dash, which is the distance from the center of compression bars and tension bars. So this is our equivalent section. So important note for steel beam theory. Steel beam theory is used to find the approximate value of the moment of resistance of a doubly reinforced beam. It is to be noted that steel beam theory is used to find approximate value of moment of resistance of a doubly reinforced beam, and especially when area of compression steel is equal to or more than the area of the tensile steel. So this point is very important. It is to be considered that if the area of compression steel is lesser than the value of lesser than the area of tensile steel, then we do not consider this theory. Then this theory cannot be used. The only condition that when this theory can be used is when area of compression steel is equal to or greater than the area of tensile steel. So we'll conclude this in some simple words. So in simple words, we assume that there is no concrete in tension zone. It is assumed कि concrete में कोई tension zone ही नहीं है, because concrete is weak in tension. तो concrete को completely neglect कर दिया जाता है. Similarly, in doubly reinforced, if you assume concrete is weak in compression also, steel is more than 10 times stronger than concrete in compression. तो उसी तरीके से अगर हम डबली रिइंफोर्स्ड की बात कर रहे हैं और स्पेशली स्टील बीम थ्योरी में, तो हम ये अज्यूम करते हैं कि कंक्रीट को हम कंप्रेशन में भी नेग्लेक्ट कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि स्टील जो है वो कंक्रीट से ऑलमोस्ट 10 टाइम्स ज्यादा कॉम्प्रेसिव स्ट्रेंथ को बेयर कर सकती है, बिकॉज इट इज वेल इंजीनियर्ड एंड थर्मोमैकेनिकली ट्रीटेड, व्हाइल कंक्रीट इज casted and can contain flaws. So, and then we get same amount of steel in both tension and compression. तो एक यही कैच है, ये मैं चाहूंगा कि आप लोग दोबारा इसको थोड़ा सा ध्यान दें. Similarly, in double reinforcement, if you assume concrete is weak in compression also, then we get same amount of steel in both tension and compression. तो स्टील जो हमें टेंशन जोन और कंप्रेशन जोन में सेम अमाउंट मिल रही है, उसका रीजन यही है कि हमने कंक्रीट को नेग्लेक्ट कर दिया है कंप्रेशन और टेंशन दोनों बेयर करने के लिए. तो यही रीजन है कि जो दोनों वैल्यूज आती हैं ASC एंड AST, एरिया ऑफ स्टील अंडर कंप्रेशन एंड एरिया ऑफ स्टील अंडर टेंशन, वो कंपेरेबल आती है, वो इक्वल आती है, और कई केस में कंप्रेशन स्टील की ज्यादा आती है, क्योंकि हम कंक्रीट को फुली नेग्लेक्ट कर चुके हैं. And all the moment will be resisted by steel only. जितने भी moments हैं वो steel ही resist करेगा. There is no role of concrete in this transformed section. So we call such beam as steel beam in steel beam theory. तो ऐसा माना जाता है concrete क्योंकि पूरा neglect ही हो चुका है, तो इसीलिए उसको एक steel beam माना जाता है. It is assumed as a steel beam solely and designed as steel beam. So it is considered as a steel beam theory. And in outside, most of the sides you can see tension and compression still will be equal, top and bottom. और अगर हम रियल लाइफ प्रैक्टिसेस की बात करें, अगर हम डिजाइन की बात करें, तो जितनी भी GFC गुड फॉर कंस्ट्रक्शन ड्राइंग्स होती हैं जो कि फाइनली एग्जीक्यूट होती है, उनमें जो टॉप एंड बॉटम बार्स होते हैं वो सिमिलर ही होते हैं काफी हद तक. तो उसी पर्पस से ये स्टील बीम थ्योरी को डिवाइस किया गया. बट यू कैन नेवर गेट सेम स्टील इन बोथ जोन्स थ्योरेटिकली. पर जब हम थ्योरेटिकली कंपेयर करते हैं तो हम कभी भी सेम स्टील एरिया नहीं आ पाता है कंप्रेशन और टेंशन जोन में. इसका रीजन ये है कि हम हमेशा मोमेंट का डिफरेंस निकालते हैं, जैसा कि अभी हमने पीछे न्यूमेरिकल में किया था. हमने क्या किया था कि सबसे पहले जो हमारे पास मोमेंट आया वो एक्सटर्नल मोमेंट था, वो जो लोड की वजह से डेवलप हो रहा है. फिर हमने एक मोमेंट ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस क्रिएट निकाला. हमने देखा कि बीम हमारी कितना ज्यादा मोमेंट रेजिस्ट कर पाती है, एंड वी देन चेक कि हमारा जो मोमेंट एक्सटर्नल है वो हमारे मोमेंट ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस को कितना ज्यादा सरपास करता है, वो उससे उसकी वैल्यू कितनी ज्यादा एक्सीड करती है. हम उन दोनों का डिफरेंस ले लेते हैं. तो जो उन दोनों का डिफरेंस होता है उसकी वजह से जो हमारा वो वैल्यू थोड़ी कम होती है, और उसकी वजह से हमारा जो एरिया ऑफ स्टील अंडर कंप्रेशन है उसकी वैल्यू कम आती है. तो इसीलिए ऐसा लिखा गया है कि थ्योरेटिकली बोथ जोन्स में एरिया ऑफ स्टील अंडर कंप्रेशन हमेशा कम होता है एरिया ऑफ स्टील अंडर टेंशन के कंपेरिजन में. बट इन रियल लाइफ प्रैक्टिस, एज वी हैव डिस्कस्ड, एंड इन साइट प्रैक्टिसेस, हमेशा जो टॉप और बॉटम जोन्स में, यानी कि कंप्रेशन इज टॉप एंड टेंशन इज बॉटम जोन, उसमें रीइंफोर्समेंट जो दी जाती है दे आर इक्वल. So I hope you guys are well acquainted with steel beam theory after all this discussion. So we are done with steel beam theory and we are done with doubly reinforced beams. Both these topics are correlated and to be linked in coordination. and studied in coordination. I hope you guys will mail me if there is any query. The mail ID is given at the end of the video. If case of any query, feel free to contact, and we'll end the topic here, and we'll be completing today's discussion, and we'll meet in the next lecture. Till then, have great health, great time, take care, and bye.
I hope you guys could understand and correlate the topics taught in today's session. If there is any query or subject matter issue, feel free to mail me at the given email ID. Live discussion sessions could also be used for discussion of doubts.